What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We have come back with a PvE exclusive 1 tier list. Now, there are some slight changes. We'll go through the entire tier list, but there will be an image in a link in the description below. So if you want to just go straight to that without hearing any of our inputs, then feel free to do that. But it would be nice if you stick around to hear why certain heroes have moved and how we determined that. I'm sure you'll stick around anyway because you enjoy the laughter. We are joined again by Gandalf, and Gandalf has also done a PvP tier list and also a damage formula discovery, which you may be very interested in regards to a certain buff that's increasing damage from your heroes that no one else has really talked about. So go and check that out as well. Don't forget, my Aptoid code has changed from carzak5 to carzak. I will be putting it in just up here, so you'll be able to see it throughout the video anyway. Hopefully you've switched that in your settings, promo code carzak. Link in the description below for all the information on that. So welcome back to the channel, Gandalf. And people can hear you today.
I know. I think my volume is going to be a lot louder today based on people's feedback, and people really enjoyed the collab we had last time. So thank you so much for having me back.
You're welcome back. You're welcome back. I still haven't got the wizard hat. That maybe I'll have to buy one just for these. So yeah, I mean, this didn't take too long, did it? This didn't take too long to do, but it's a much needed information, especially updating these tier lists because people need it. People
For
need it.
sure, E1 does make a difference for a lot of the heroes. So today
Yeah.
we'll be focusing on some of the changes we have made to the tier list due to the power increase at exclusive 1.
And don't worry, God is... Oh, I've just zoomed in. That's my bad. God is up here. Don't think that we've missed out heroes. It's just because there's so goddamn many. Obviously, the needs rework. Heroes need rework. They need a rework. Like we was promised about Lamb months ago. Nothing ever happened about that. Carried and Horus was reworked, but they're just not good enough. So yeah, these are, I think, the same as Gustav. Igor, unfortunately, is still terrible. But they are going to be moved down now, so they need rework. And we can move into A. A hasn't changed at all, has it? That stayed the same from exclusive 0.
Yep, stay the same.
Yeah. Moving on into A plus. Not a lot changed in A plus. Not many moved up. I believe it was only. Did anyone move up from A plus?
I think Seville escaped A+.
Yes, Slaval moved up to S. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Uh,
Eric escaped it as well.
yes, Eric's
Because
moved up
both
to
of these
S.
two heroes at exclusive 1 do become a lot more relevant. Sibel
Yes.
getting the extra turn, so having a much shorter cycle to pretty much give your entire team attack up the entire time. And Eric now giving both of his skills a burn dot to the enemy, so making it on par with Barry.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So A plus. I mean, we've still got Natalie. We've still got Sewell, Amalek, Zyra, Grandy, Popper, Naskama, Asindo, Will, Elic, Villet, Teru, Mai, Megan, Dario, Yoko, Zia, Lutz, Edith, Akina, Margarita, Tara, Serena, Besmok, and Boughton. Yes, I can't remember every single hero off by heart. It's kind of a skill we get, right, Gandalf?
Yeah, we know the name of the, and people make fun of the way I say the hero's name. So I'm gonna leave it to you,
That's
Karzak, to
fine.
say most of the hero's name.
No. The trouble is everyone's heard me say everybody's hero's name wrong, and you're probably saying them right, and it's probably that's why it's funny because I say them wrong.
All right, on to
Yeah.
the S tier. I think some of we covered 2 of the changes in here already. Um, Other heroes I think that moved in here. I can't remember if last time Andreas was here or not, but
So
Andreas
let's just
definitely.
let's just start at them, and then ones that we can think of move, we can
Yeah,
stop on those and talk about. So
for
we
sure.
got we got Bull, Donald Rebelite, Agatha. She
Yeah.
still stays at S, right? I mean, E1
Right,
is
it's still
nice.
E1 basically prevents you from getting control, but that's more of a
Yeah.
PvP thing.
Mu2 at E1. What did he get again? What is
So Mutu at E1 gets he gets to carry on in werewolf form through all of the waves now. It is nice, however, you can see there are very few single target direct damage dealers that make it in this particular tier list. The reasons why
Yeah.
you got the other single target damage up there is because the other utility they bring to your composition.
Yes. Yes, that makes sense. Um, okay, we have Burns still hanging on there in S. I don't think he'll move much from that point, but we'll
No,
see on E3.
yeah,
Don't tell them yet. Don't tell them
we
yet.
won't. We please wait for our E3 video, which will come
Eh,
soon.
and Slaval moved up from A plus because she gets an extra turn after buffing attack. Eric, you just spoken about Eric, why he moved
Yeah,
up to S. Aodine, he was in S tier, wasn't he? He was
he
still
was
there.
in S tier. I mean, you do get a little bit of extra damage from
Yeah,
his first exclusive, but not enough to make him
it's not
go up
significant
further.
enough. Yeah.
No.
Ockman still stays in S. I'm still sad about Ockman, but he does belong in S at the moment.
Yeah,
Bari hasn't had enough of a change at E1 to move up yet.
yeah.
Gunner will
Just a little
stay
bit of
in
extra
S.
critical damage from the bullets, not much.
Yes, yes. Gunner stays. Andras still stays. He's still needing a little bit more in order to move up. Lysander stays in at S. Elena, Herfer, and Taff was a tricky one to talk about because Taff does extend durations of damage over time, all damage over time debuffs, doesn't he? But
Right. So
he's just got
he
dated.
does. He's a little bit dated. I mean, if you think about the rest of his kit, it's a little bit more relevant on the Oakman. Oakman does have the extend on skill 2, and it's a three turn cooldown as opposed to Taff, but you do
Mm,
see the use of cleanse of dots more relevant and
yeah,
useful in most of the PvE content. But nonetheless, it's just not as strong as some of the other supports that are available above.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
plus.
Turf still doesn't move up to S plus. He will stay in S. Gilliman, not a huge change there. Slack, though, does remove all types of buffs now. However, Gilliman also strips. So we put them both together in PvE at the same here. Alahan stays, Inna, Elsa, Fiona, and of course, Brynhild. So that is it for S tier. And we're happy with those in S, right?
Yeah, we're happy with those. There weren't too many movements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
so
it's when we go to the top 2 tiers where we see the most movement,
yeah.
where exclusive of one really becomes very relevant for these heroes.
Yes, yes. So S plus, we've come in with Maeve, and the reason why Maeve is in still in at S plus and one of the older heroes as well is because she doesn't require affect it anymore. And paired up with the likes of say Lucifer or any other direct damage dealer, she can be very valid because defense down 2 will always hit, as well as slowing down certain bosses. Like no one else can slow down a guild boss other than Maeve. Other than
Yeah,
Maeve. So she does deserve to be there. Um,
for sure.
yeah, especially in the 5 guild boss teams as well. She can be useful in that too.
She's
Um,
very much relevant in the direct damage dealer team. Yeah.
did
Um,
Thanatos move up?
yes, Thanatos moved
Yeah.
up quite a bit. Yeah. This is where he gets his soul unique, where he could increase up to 60% crit rate and 150% crit damage,
Yes.
stacking to full. So if you're taking your time during the wave phases, when you get to the boss phase, he's going to be hitting very, very hard.
Mm, yeah.
So it is relevant in PvE. We have done some tests on him in Withering Coast. He's a viable DPS if you can stack up the turns and get him a lot of turns to use his skills. And he has decent multipliers too.
Yes, he does. He does. Hisaro's moved up to S plus, and this is mainly because he's one of the only heroes as well that really is going to help you in Gwyneth. And not only that, but now with the introduction of Shardnau, these two paired up together are solid because as long as Shardnau goes first, Hisaro comes in, triggers those bleeds thanks to the E1, and can do some mega damage between those two.
For sure. Yeah, there are very few heroes in game that provide severe wound too. So
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Alicia now grants an extra turn after Merciless and extends the duration of all bleeds as well, so she deserves to be in an S plus. I can't remember exactly what Veronica gets at E1. She was an S plus already. She's a solid poisoner. But what does she
so
get?
each of the stage does a little bit more extra damage. So she's
Is that
already
what it
very
is?
strong as a poison damage. She gets
Yeah, she does extra damage.
80% per each of the combo. So
Yeah,
so
that
yeah,
is
it does go
nice.
up quite a bit on her skill too.
Yeah. Walter as well. You moved Walter, didn't you? You wanted to move Walter, and that was
Yes,
because of the
Walter did
20%.
move up, and that 20%
Yeah.
actually is an additive stack. So when you talk about damage mitigation, on top of what poison stacks do, so a full stack plus Walter, you're looking at 50% damage reduction there, which is very significant in PvE content.
Yeah. Anna is in at S plus now. That's because her Fire Strike now deals AoE damage and also increases attack up 2 for all allies as well. So she's much more viable at this point forwards at E1.
Okay.
Melia and Sigmund moved down from God. They're still very good, don't get me wrong. But at E1, there isn't much of a change. And the heroes above in God are just better. They're just better. This is where things start to drift a little bit as you start to get through the exclusives, right?
Right, and really these are not their most impactful exclusives.
Yeah.
At higher exclusive, Melia does become more relevant.
Yeah.
Sigmund, unfortunately, they're not that helpful in PvE.
What's it Quinlan did again at E1? Um,
So Quinlan gives you the guaranteed, given a guaranteed HP burn dot at the start of the turn if you're slower. This allows him to combo a little bit better to get the freeze
no,
off.
at E1.
Uh,
It's a
Pretty
50%
sure.
50% chance if it freezes the target for one turn after Erosive Spear deals damage. The chance is increased to
Ah,
80% if the target is under health burning status. When they give the health burning at the beginning of the wave, that's level 3, I believe.
is
That's the
it?
huge. Yeah, that's the huge one.
That. Oh, okay, that's the huge one.
That's the huge.
Hmm.
That's when he goes to God. Quite easy to mix those up. I often do it on the majority
Yeah,
of.
that one I mixed up. Then should we keep him where he was, perhaps?
No, I
If
still
was
think
he?
he's good enough at S plus here. I think that freeze, as long as you've got him with another health burner, that can be vital as well to pinpoint down one of the enemies.
Key heroes. True. I mean, he was still in our S plus at E0, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes sense to leave
he's
him where
very
he
good.
is.
He's very good. He's very good. Hoff next, E1. Actually, E1 for Hoff is a huge one because he inflicts hunting on the enemy of the highest attack. Instead, increases all allies' attack by 40% for 2 turns when the enemy target under hunting status is killed. So that one is massive as well, especially for direct damage dealers or like poison or bleed heroes. Because as
Yeah,
soon as that target's been killed, you get the extra attack.
yeah, it helps a lot more with wave clear and put it
Yes.
on the
Oh,
most
for sure, for
important
sure.
target you want to focus down.
Melot is in at S plus. She moved up, didn't she?
Yeah, she moved up because at exclusive one, she now does significant damage from her skill 2 joint attack. So if you, this is when you want to start using her in an
Yeah,
all poisoner team. So if you're using her in Wuthering Coast, you will notice a substantial damage increase going from E0 to E1 when using her.
yes. Oh,
She can
yeah.
literally
On the
spam that on every single turn. So if you got like 4 poisoner, that's 640% poison damage based on her
yeah,
stats every single
that's
turn
super nice. That
with
is
no
super
cooldown.
nice.
Yeah.
Chard now is at S plus, and I'm struggling to remember what he did at E1.
He did move up. At E1, that's when he gets the
Oh, the
shields, I
heavy
believe.
bleed too.
Oh,
Each
sorry,
stage,
heavy bleed too. Yeah, heavy bleed
yes,
too. That's the big one, right?
yes, that's the huge one because that increases so much damage, so much damage. That's the only hero in the game to give heavy bleed to.
Right.
Focas, well, not much changes with Focas, and he does stay in S plus.
You
There
just
is,
get a heal. You just
yeah,
get a heal on skill 2, but he's already very strong with the reset from a
yeah.
PvE perspective. So
Guhana and Space will stay. They're still very solid here. Poor Lin. Poor Lin. What did Poor Lin gain at
Colin
E?
gets the effective risk for the entire
That's it.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
effect res for the entire team. Nasil gets the instant turn to begin with
Yeah.
by casting Frozen Shield or whatever it is he is on himself. So you can freeze the enemy wave, and then if you're combining them up with Nicholas as well, then you've got a perma freeze in place too. So that's super nice at E1. Nasil can help so much because it's instant CC at the beginning of a wave, so you don't even need to be fast. Esther is in at S plus.
So
What is
now she
S?
gets three layers of eggs. So 3 layers of eggs before
That's
you can
it.
only store up to one. So you can just keep on spamming those
Yeah,
eggs. And
yeah,
moreover, she gets the 30% turn starter, so you don't even need to worry about, you know, going first on her, she will be able to start colorful egg the entire team from the start.
Yes. Elena now causes AoE speed down on the enemies, and that's why she's moved up, because not only is she stripping, she's also AoE speed down. Gandalf wasn't too sure on this one, but I still think Elena is S+. What do you guys think, actually?
Yeah,
I
if
still,
you, based on your thoughts, leave us a comment below, and we'll love to have
yeah,
the discussion with you.
yeah. Tuck now, he freezes enemies and himself, and then he gets to shield after to cleanse our allies of shield. So not only is he protecting your team, but he's also causing CC. Tuck is a huge hero at E1
Yeah,
and
the double
further on.
turn is really nice and make him actually usable. Before, you'll be kind of stuck having to block, not able to use skill 2.
Yeah. And Isla is in, and a lot of people sleep on Isla. And I wish they didn't, because she is freaking solid hero. At E1, she additionally grants all allies a shield by 30% of her max health as well for 2 turns. But she does so much more. She's got block debuff, she's got health up 2 as well. So she can be great for health burning teams as well. So don't sleep on Isla. She is a good hero.
Yeah,
Um,
she's got a lot better after the rework. So,
yes, for sure. Albeck gets immortal status now, doesn't he, at E1?
and he also gets the protect ally, so he's going to be able to share the damage from the entire team and can't be killed for 2 turns.
Yes, I'm. Oh, gee, should he be in? Should he be higher for this? I'm
Nope.
unsure.
I
No.
mean, I mean, he's compared to Hell, right? Like Hell does the same thing,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
E1 Hell gets he gets the repair status now too.
Yeah.
So both of them are really hard to kill when they protect their allies.
Seth gets the attack up for all allies. Well, it's attack up 2 for all allies, isn't it? So this is a big one as well. But how 9,000 at E1? It's not a huge change, is it? It's not a huge change, but he is still solid. Increases the duration of a target's attack reduction to 3 turns, with the same chance to reduce target's crit rate by 50% for 3 turns. So against bosses, that is pretty massive. Frick.
It is.
What?
So
Memories.
his exclusive one actually doesn't do too much here. I mean, in a way, it does help
Mm,
because if you make him fast enough, when he lands those attack down and crit down, he can
it's turn
push
meter
the term
reduction.
meter back.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
nice.
So
Yeah,
if you're thinking about wave clear and your DPS isn't as fast as the rest of the wave, you could make him faster
yeah.
so that the turn meter pushback allow you to finish your entire team's combo before the enemy goes.
Luna's Moonlight Blessing now does do 40% attack down, which is big, don't get me wrong. But is she on par with those above? I don't think she is at the minute. I don't think she is as a mythic. Um,
Yeah. I
it's just
think she's
not
just
room.
falling short a little bit. Just
Yeah,
because she's a mythic, we're putting the bar up there just a little
yeah.
bit more.
I mean, if we had
So
6 slots in a team, maybe, but
yeah.
we don't. We have 5.
Yeah, the thing with Luna is she just doesn't seem to see gameplay at high-end PvE
Yeah,
content.
yeah.
Um, the only time she is used mostly is now you see her in Elemental City for very niche
Yes.
cases. For example, for the boss that needs your entire teams to be stealth, or in the current rotation where you do need the res the debuff block, right? So to prevent you from getting poison every turn. So
Yeah.
that's the very few niche cases you actually see Luna being used now.
Lucaia still is, and I don't know much about Lucaia at all because simply I haven't built her. I haven't
I do
built her.
have one. At exclusive one, you get the shield
Okay.
from her skill 2.
Right.
I think there's a little bit more to it.
Is it much?
Let's see.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
you get the
You get
stealth though. You
stealth,
get the
yeah.
stealth. You get
That's stealth,
stealth and the
yeah.
30% shield. Somewhat useful in very niche situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allcaster moves down to S plus for E1, only E1, because the Allcaster cheese method is now no longer viable, and he needs to wait until E2 to return.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he's not E0 and you're not planning on pushing him any higher than E1, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Moving up to God. We're finally there. We're finally there. And Dakota is the first one in here to talk about. And exclusive one, she also increases all allies' speed by 40%, which is massive, isn't it? Especially with everything else she does going down.
Yeah. Because, for example, in a lot of for example, in guild boss, in other scenarios where you can't really slow down your target, 40% speed up is the most impactful buff in the game for your team to increase your DPS and getting your
Is
cooldowns back.
what faction is O'Grady's?
Is in
Oh,
foresters.
Foresters. Oh, that's huge for Foresters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of the key heroes you want to have. You want to
Yeah,
push higher in foresters. You don't have a lot of good, shielding or healing heroes there. I mean, yes, you have Luna, you have Taru, you have Guru, but Luna is the
yeah,
main one you want to have. But O'Grady is big because once you start triggering those burns, you start getting shields.
yeah. I mean, at
Yeah.
E1, at the beginning of each battle, O'Grady's initially gains 0.6% caps at 100% healing effect and shield effect to every 1% of mastery owned, and she restores 8% of max health for all allies with wind shelter at the beginning of each turn. So that's a nice little extra support there, really, isn't it? Especially for PvE.
Yeah, for sure. You just need to pair up with burn heroes in foresters to make that work.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, are you aware of any burn heroes in foresters right now?
no, none,
Yeah, I think they really need
none.
to introduce one. So devs, if you're
Yeah,
listening, that's a hint for the
yeah,
next
but
new
then
hero.
they can't burn down the forest. That'd be dangerous to have a burner in a forest
That's true. So I don't know why did they decide to put O'Grady's in foresters then? Because she's a
because she's a harpy.
burn healer. Yeah, her harpy that's about to set the forest on fire there.
Mm,
Going
yeah.
rogue there.
Yeah, Nidroll does stay in at God, and he additionally casts Sword Mastery one time after casting it if there is no more than one enemy under bleed. So this is nice because you can hit up to 3 times against the enemy with that swinging hit. Although he doesn't get his Sword Flurry increase for a while, it's still very nice, and he can still do a lot of damage against the entire wave. So Nidroll does deserve to be in at God.
Yeah.
Anhi Jin is still in here as one of the health burners. What increase did she get here? Again, another hero I need.
Her yeah, that hero. Well, for her at exclusive one, she does more damage with her ultimate. Basically, it's almost like another stage of HP burn that's
Yeah,
directly
yeah,
triggered on use.
yeah. That is super
So,
nice actually, and it's considered as yeah. Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
solid.
nice. Hizonya gets he triggers on Dragon Flame at E1, doesn't he?
Yeah, that is the most
Yeah,
impactful
that's the huge
one
one.
for him.
E1 on
It's
Hizonya
huge. Like
is
this is where
massive.
you start comboing with pre-dotting the entire enemy and triggering and clear waves like nothing.
Yeah.
Like even at
Look,
stage 35 plus, like you can clear the entire wave with 2 layers of dots on.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
it is nasty. Little Jack inflicts 1 layer of panic stricken on the target for 2 turns each time Candy Bomb is inflicted, up to 8 layers, reducing the enemy's attack by 5% for each layer. So that's huge for PvE as well. A Little Jack E1 is kind of slept on as well, isn't it?
This is so if you actually go down there, check out my video on the damage formulas, you will understand that with Little Jack combined with another attack down, it's not 80% damage reduction. You're looking more effectively close to 90% damage. So if
Yeah,
the
because
boss
of
was like hitting
how
you
it
100k,
scales.
now you're hitting 10k. It's crazy how much
Yeah,
damage reduction when you have Little Jack and an attack down.
yeah,
Like you can clear when you are looking at 35 plus stages, it's not about you getting killed by the boss. It's do you have enough DPS to get through the
yeah,
300 turns
yeah.
now. That's how much damage reduction he does.
Yeah,
It's
nutty,
crazy.
nutty. So don't sleep on Little Jack E1, guys, because paired up with another attack down is huge. It's huge. Lydia at E1, allies with rapid flow will gain 10% turn meter after launching basic attacks proactively. In fact, her E1 is pretty massive, isn't it? It is pretty massive. Stealing 1 layer of a
Yeah.
random buff from a target if you're using her final skill as well can be huge in PvP.
It's huge in
Um,
PvP, but we're doing a PvE tier list,
I
so let's
know.
focus on the
I'm.
PvE part.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But in PvE, we would highly recommend you use skill 2 first because you're at least getting the attack turn meter on basic attacks. And then
Yeah.
later down you're getting the cooldowns at higher exclusives. So
Rista at E1 is. I love Rista. I think he's absolutely awesome.
yeah, at E1 you're basically getting an extra turn, right? And you're
Yeah.
cycling your
It,
skill 2 even more often now, so
it's
more
very similar
coverage.
to Slavao, isn't it? With the attack up,
Yeah,
and then you can either do a joint attack or you can AoE attempt to
for a
stun.
stun.
And it's not
Yeah.
Death Revive isn't in there at that point, is it? Is Death
No,
Down
death
in there?
revive.
It was Death Down
Defense down is not
E3.
there, but
Yeah.
anti-revive is there. So if
Okay.
you happen to
Okay.
be dealing with annoying heroes that could revive,
Yeah.
this could be a very good option.
Magdi next to E1. For every 1 layer of poison inflicted by an ally, this ally gains 1 layer of residual poison up to 10 layers. It just gives them a massive shield, doesn't it? Like an extra 40% of a shield if it's at 10.
Yeah, pretty much your best support if you're running a heavy poison team. So,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
you put Dakota and Magdi together, you literally can run a 5-man
Oh,
poison team
gross.
and does a ridiculous
I don't
amount of
even want to
damage.
talk about it, Gandalf. It's gross. I don't even want to talk
It's
about it.
gross. We see it. We see it. It's
Yeah.
over 1 billion damage on the new
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah. I wish I had
5
Dakota.
poison team.
I wish I had Dakota.
I don't have it either. So let's ask the devs to bring it back.
Yeah.
Catherine,
Um,
E1.
Catherine, E1. Geez, Catherine's so old. What does she even do at E1? That's not her
I
extra turn, is
believe
it?
no, extra turn
Oh, it's to
is at
cleanse
E3.
1 layer of
It's the
debuff for every
cleanse.
ally. Yeah,
That's yeah, that's the important one
yeah. No,
for
not in PvE though.
in PvE. Actually, on Marius, it actually is very impactful
Oh
because
yeah, it
it
is. Yeah,
actually cleanses through all of those frost ones.
I was trying
It
to catch you out.
cleanses through a lot of the poison debuffs too. So, and
Yeah.
in Guild Boss, right, getting rid of the attack down is going to be huge for increasing your damage.
Yes, yes, that's very true. Marvel at E1 is huge because you're reducing the cooldown of all skills by 1 turn for all allies who have at least 1 layer of fish shell before fish dive restores the layers of fish shell. Um, that's huge as well.
That's when
You
you
can
go
start.
check out Karzak's video on how Marvel and Lydia breaks the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I forgot I did that one. Forgot I did that one. Um, Mammok. Mammok at E1. Oh, Mammok's so big, even at E friggin' zero. But at E1,
Yeah,
um, what is it he
it's a
does?
speed up. It's the 40% speed up for the rest
No,
of the
it's
team
not, is it?
except
He
himself.
gets doesn't he
Yeah,
get that at base?
no, he doesn't. Unfortunately,
He
it's E1.
does.
Does he?
He does. It's at base.
It's at base.
It's at
So
base.
what is his E1?
Mammok
Oh,
gains one.
E1. He starts healing.
Yes, he starts
He can
healing.
start healing now.
Yeah,
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 that's really big because you can technically run him by himself as a support now.
yeah,
In
yeah,
for example, in Guild Boss, well, not the Guild Boss, the new Wuthering Coast boss, he should
yeah.
be able
But
to
he
heal
is very
through
good
all
in
of it
Guild Boss as
without.
well, though. I was using him for a
Yeah,
long time in Guild Boss.
yeah, his healing is definitely there. He heals
Yeah.
even more with higher exclusives.
Moving over to Nicholas. Nicholas, do you know what? This is where you got confused. It's because Nicholas E1
Yeah,
increases all
Nicholas
speed by
is the
40%.
40%. Yeah, and we put them
You
side by side.
you was getting ahead of yourself. That's what it is. You got saved.
Yes.
You got saved. So Nicholas E1 is massive. Every exclusive of Nicholas gets him better though. However, I don't think he's as good as he was, is he?
Is he?
I don't think he's as needed as he once was anymore.
Honestly, when he first rolled out, like we were
Oh,
replacing all of our Nordax with him,
when he
right?
first
And
came, it's
now
just good. Uh,
he
like
was
honestly,
everyone put him on his PvE team, even at E0. Like
yeah,
I was, he can heal, he can slow down, he can
yeah.
freeze.
But
Like,
I think with like Lydia coming back into the game now, like I think things have started to shift. I
yeah,
mean I
I
know that
mean, I think the meta right now for PvE top end teams are your Nordak, Lydia with Marvel. That basically your other video, right? That is the top end game
yeah,
support.
it is a top end game support.
Yeah, that's
Lucifer
where it's at.
E1. Lucifer E1 inflicts feebleness 2 instead of additionally inflicts severe wound for 2 turns.
Yeah,
So this one
that's
is
when
big.
that's
Um,
when you can use him and Gwyneth.
yes, he can start being
Yeah,
used in Gwyneth there. But he just hits so hard, and especially for PVE, he's still, especially I know like people don't like, but direct damage is huge now. And yes, you may need to have the likes of Rista and Ben Austin as well to really get that full potential. But he is still a very good mythic.
for sure. And I mean, they purposefully made certain stages and certain bosses immune to dot damage, right? So
Yes.
direct damage sometimes is scaled up. So yeah, having Lucifer as an option, like in our guild, we always ask someone to put a Lucifer in the
Yeah.
help others heroes.
Ben Austin, 10% of a
deals
target's turn
the
meter
yep.
for successfully increasing the cooldown of their skills on his skill 2. So he can effectively get quite a huge amount back of his turn, can't he, with that?
Right. So he can basically double turn. He
Yeah.
can reduce, then joint attack right after.
It's,
It
it's,
does
it's,
help a
it's,
little bit in PvE. It does help. It
it
does help.
does. It does help. It does help.
Yep.
Nordak, E1. He now, when Nordak has Divine Light, the extra damage dealt by Holy Arbitrament will be the sum of 60% of Nordak's total shield value and 30% of all allies it's himself total shield value. So he can start to hit harder, can't he?
Yeah, this is when if you have a full shielder team, that's when you start seeing millions
Yeah,
popping out on the screen when he's
yeah.
smacking with his giant ass sword.
A giant ass sword, exactly. The final hero in the tier list, and it is Nita. At E1, she increases self attack by 10%. Meanwhile, additionally triggers poison effects one time after bury, deals 3 stages of damage up to 6 layers. That's a really big one, isn't it? E1 for Nita.
Yes, and I think didn't Nita move? Did we move Nita up? I think
Yeah, she
Nita
got moved
was
up.
in S plus, right? So
Yeah,
she's actually moving up because
yeah,
of this very key critical exclusive, allowing you to
yes,
trigger the bleeds that are on the target.
yes,
So you can dot them up on skill 3 and trigger it, which allows you for very effective wave clears now.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of the exclusive 1 tier list.
Yeah, and that is it. So thank you again, Gandalf, for joining in. Appreciate it, and on the input as well. We seem to work well together.
For sure. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we'll look forward to the final exclusive 3 video in a while.
We will indeed. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic day, even wherever you are. Goodbye.